Well, oil prices continue to rise following the imposition of new U.S. sanctions against Iran, which is a key oil producer. Brent futures rose to nearly $118 per barrel, causing concern over supply. Front-month Brent futures jumped by 58 cents per barrel. On Wednesday, Washington slapped new restrictions on Iran's access to the money from its oil sales to other countries. A day after that, Brent jumped to $117, its highest level in 5 months since mid-September. Joining us on the line from Berkeley, California is the Vice Chair of Institute for Policy Studies, Saul Landau. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV. Now, as the figures continue to pour in regarding the oil prices, it is quite clear that as much as the U.S. would like to show its sanctions on Iran are to isolate the country, anything that takes place has global consequences. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the United States has once again decided to punish Iran for being disobedient. And this is the sin of sins. So Iran has, Cuba has been paying the price for sinning, for being disobedient for 50 plus years. And that punishment continues. And now Iran is the latest country to decide to do what it wants to do and not what the United States says it should do.
Indeed. Now, looking at the fact that the U.S. had earlier proposed negotiations, direct ones with Iran over the nuclear energy program, citing goodwill. However, it is quite clear that the U.S. is using a carrot and stick policy and pressuring Iran to come to the negotiating table. Is this ever going to work?
Well, I don't think it can work, and I think it's a silly policy, and it's a hypocritical policy. The only country to use nuclear weapons is the United States. The country with the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons is the United States. The only country that developed nuclear weapons and has refused to sign any of the treaties is Israel, which is the United States' pet friend. And although I don't think it's a great idea for countries to get nuclear weapons, I don't think the United States is in any position to tell other countries how to deal with the nuclear issue. After all, we have thousands of nuclear weapons, and we have already used them. In fact, we're the only country that ever has. So I don't see where we get the moral authority to tell anybody else what to do about this and to punish somebody for not doing it.
Right. Now, as nuclear talks will be taking place with the P5+1 later this month, confidence-building measures are extremely necessary in order to move forward. However, with this recent move by the U.S., how do you see the future talks prospect looking like?
Well, I think that when the United States applies punishment to another country, other countries just stiffen their backs. We have seen this over and over again. But this is a foolish move. It's much better to have talks rather than to make threats and then start to punish people throughout the world. What has Iran done to the United States? The Iranians did not try to overthrow the U.S. government. The U.S. government overthrew the government in Iran back in 1953. It altered the destiny of another people. What did Iran do to the United States? It's really difficult, other than being disobedient, that is, acting as an independent nation. So the United States has no business, has no, if you like, moral or ethical right to carry out this kind of punishment against another country for simply doing what it wants to do.
All right, that was the Vice Chair of Institute for Policy Studies, Saul Landau, there joining us on the line from Berkeley, California. Mr. Landau, thank you very much for your comments here on Press TV.